The forbidden book that changed human history. There are stories that change history, stories that challenge our understanding of the world, stories that question everything we think we know. And then there are stories that are so extraordinary, so unsettling, so deeply woven into the fabric of human civilization that they never fully come to the surface. They exist in fragments, in whispers, in burned pages and banned manuscripts. This is the story of one of those mysteries. A book rumored to contain knowledge far beyond its era. A book that kings feared, scholars hunted, and institutions tried to erase from existence. A book known in secret circles as the Codex Aeternum, the eternal manuscript. No one agrees on the origin of the Codex. Some say it came from an ancient civilization that vanished thousands of years before recorded history, leaving behind only ruins and impossible technologies. Others insist it was written by a scholar whose brilliance surpassed the limits of his time. And there are a few who claim it wasn't created by humans at all, but discovered, like a message left for humanity by forces unknown. What is certain is this: every time the Codex resurfaced, the world changed. And every time it did, someone tried to silence it. The oldest surviving reference to the Codex appears on a clay tablet dating back nearly 4,000 years, discovered in the ruins of a Babylonian library. The tablet describes a book that reveals the workings of the heavens, the nature of the invisible, and the power hidden within man. The inscription is heavily damaged, but one line remains remarkably clear. He who masters its pages holds dominion over fate. For centuries, the Codex drifted through history like a ghost. It would appear in the possession of a priest astronomer, then vanish for generations. It would re-emerge in a royal archive, only to disappear after a suspicious fire. Some said the book brought enlightenment. Others said it brought madness. But everyone agreed on one thing: the Codex was not meant for ordinary eyes. In the 3rd century BCE, the book reached the hands of a Greek philosopher named Callisthenes of Rhodes. Callisthenes was brilliant, curious, and unafraid of forbidden knowledge. He had traveled through Egypt, Babylon, and Persia, studying mathematics, astronomy, and natural science. When he acquired the Codex, through methods still unknown, he became obsessed. He spent months locked inside his study, emerging only to eat and drink. People close to him said he spoke of patterns beneath reality and laws older than the gods. One night he wrote a letter to a colleague that contained only 4 words: "Knowledge has sharp teeth." The next day, Callisthenes vanished. His home was found empty, his notes scattered, the Codex missing. No one ever saw him again. Some believed he had uncovered something too dangerous to reveal. Others believed he had been silenced by powerful men who feared the consequences of his discoveries. The book's next documented appearance came in the 1st century CE, during the rise of the Roman Empire. A Roman engineer named Decimus Valerius obtained the Codex after a military campaign in the East, where soldiers had seized the library of a defeated king. Decimus was fascinated by machines and structures, and the Codex was filled with diagrams of devices far more advanced than anything Rome had ever seen. There were sketches of gears, water pumps, mechanical lenses, steam-powered wheels, and complex systems that looked like early prototypes of engines, telescopes, and even microscopes, centuries before such inventions existed. One page described a device called the eye that sees the hidden, a series of lenses aligned in such a way that Decimus believed he could observe things invisible to the naked eye. He claimed in his journals that the device allowed him to see details inside plant tissue and the movement of tiny organisms in water. But Decimus did not live long enough to prove anything. His workshop exploded under mysterious circumstances. His journals were confiscated, and the Codex vanished once more. It resurfaced briefly in the 9th century, during a fragile period of intellectual flourishing in the Islamic Golden Age. A scholar named Ibn Rashid al-Hafiz wrote about a manuscript of impossible knowledge that described chemical reactions, optical science, and celestial mechanics. His writings praised the Codex but also warned that unprepared minds will swallow poison when they seek miracles. Shortly after writing that line, Ibn Rashid died unexpectedly. His students believed he had been poisoned. The Codex disappeared again. It would not return until the 13th century, when it found its way into a French monastery. A young monk named Renaud de Villiers discovered it hidden behind a false wall in the monastery's scriptorium. Unlike the others who had possessed it, Renaud documented his findings meticulously. He wrote about diagrams showing the Earth orbiting the Sun, hundreds of years before Copernicus. He wrote about descriptions of blood circulation before Harvey. He wrote about forces that bind the heavens, centuries before Newton. But perhaps most disturbingly, Renaud wrote about predictions, rare astronomical alignments, natural disasters, and the rise and fall of empires. The Codex did not just describe the past, it hinted at the future. The Church did not take this lightly. Renaud was accused of heresy. They claimed he had dabbled in forbidden knowledge, overstepped the boundaries of faith, and questioned divine order. Before they arrested him, Renaud managed to pass the Codex to a traveling scholar named Elias. According to legend, he whispered, "Hide it where truth sleeps." Renaud was taken away and never seen again. Elias vanished without a trace. Over the next 3 centuries, fragments of the Codex appeared in underground circles of thinkers known as natural philosophers. Some believed it contained the blueprint of the universe. Others believed it held secrets that could reshape society. Groups formed to protect it, others to exploit it. A few wanted to destroy it entirely. During the Renaissance, the book reached the hands of Leonardo da Vinci. Historians still debate how he acquired it, but after that moment, Leonardo's work changed dramatically. His notebooks show sudden jumps in understanding, visionary ideas about flight, optics, anatomy, engineering, and physics. Some sketches appear strikingly similar to diagrams described in earlier accounts of the Codex. It is believed that Leonardo recognized both the beauty and danger of the book. He encoded much of what he learned into his own work, hiding it in mirrored writing, cryptic diagrams, and fragmented notes. When he died in 1519, the Codex vanished yet again, as if slipping between the cracks of history. The next documented sighting occurred in the 17th century, during the Scientific Revolution. A secret society of scholars calling themselves the Custodes Veritatis, the Guardians of Truth, claimed to possess the Codex. Their mission was to protect dangerous knowledge from misuse. They believed the book should neither be destroyed nor revealed, but studied only by those with wisdom and restraint. They wrote that the Codex contained 3 kinds of knowledge. Knowledge humanity was not yet prepared to understand. Knowledge humanity should never possess. According to their records, the 3rd category included instructions for devices capable of harnessing energy in ways modern science is only beginning to grasp. Their writings speak of equations describing the behavior of matter under extreme conditions, formulas hinting at fields and forces not yet discovered, and diagrams that resemble modern particle accelerators. The Custodes Veritatis warned that misuse of the Codex could destabilize nations, economies, or even reality itself. But their order collapsed in the late 1700s after internal disputes and political pressure. When their archives were raided during the chaos of the French Revolution, the Codex vanished once more. In the 19th century, rumors emerged that a partially damaged version of the Codex appeared in the hands of a British explorer named Jonathan Winthrop. Winthrop was obsessed with ancient civilizations and believed the Codex provided clues about a lost culture that predated all known history. He traveled across Egypt, Mesopotamia, and the Indus Valley, searching for traces of this forgotten people. In a letter to his brother, he wrote, "The Codex speaks of a time before the flood, before our calendars, before recorded memory. It hints at a civilization that understood forces we are only beginning to name. If I find what I think is out there, history itself must be rewritten." Winthrop disappeared in the Arabian desert. His body was never found. His notes were recovered, but the Codex was missing. In the 20th century, there were whispers that the book, or a copy of it, found its way into the hands of intelligence agencies during World War II. Some claimed scientists involved in secret research stumbled upon references to it. Others said that leaders of major powers believed the Codex contained insights into energy, technology, or weaponry far beyond their time. If this is true, the Codex may have influenced more events in the modern era than anyone realizes. And then, just as consistently as before, it vanished again. Today, the Codex Aeternum remains one of history's greatest mysteries. Does it truly exist? If so, who possesses it now? And why is the world not allowed to know? Some say it rests in a vault beneath the Vatican. Others believe it lies hidden in a private collection owned by an international elite. A few insist that parts of it have been digitized and locked behind layers of classified encryption. There is even a theory that the Codex is not a single book at all, but a collection of writings scattered across time. Pieces of a puzzle that only a future generation will be able to assemble. Whatever the truth, one thing is certain: knowledge has always been the most powerful force in human history. Empires rise and fall based on who controls it. Societies flourish or collapse depending on how they use it. And perhaps the Codex Aeternum is the ultimate reminder that some knowledge can elevate humanity, while some can destroy it. Whether the Codex is a relic of an ancient civilization, a work of genius ahead of its time, or something entirely beyond human comprehension, its story endures. And maybe that is the greatest lesson of all, that the pursuit of truth is both humanity's greatest strength and its greatest danger. Because sometimes the most powerful thing in the world is not a weapon, not an army, not a king, but a book